Hey guys, what's up? We are back here with another video today, and today we are doing our Texas-Washington preview and prediction video, so make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Help me reach 1,400 subscribers before Christmas. Help me get that Christmas goal. We're about 40 subscribers away, so help me hit that goal by hitting that subscribe button down below. Like this video if you enjoy it. Comment all your thoughts and opinions down below, and know this. While I'm recording this video, we will have a live stream of this game. Me and American Football Network and maybe even Sorgy Stories will be joining us, and we will be having a live stream, live commentary for this very game. So make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell for that video. I'll be having videos out for all of the New Year's Six Bowls and even some more of them. Probably one for Clemson and Kentucky. Just put one out for Notre Dame, Oregon State. Probably a few more here and there for some interesting bowl games. Maybe a New Mexico State, Fresno State game. That should be an interesting one. But some more games coming out. Also, make sure you check out the podcast for final college football roundup. I'm down by 6 games. It's going to be tough, but a lot of games to go as well. So let's get right into this video. So, Texas-Washington, a massive matchup. You got Texas, hook 'em horns. They're back. Maybe. Are they back? That's really kind of the question. You're looking at a team that has Texas has kind of struggled at certain points in this season. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, when you needed a win, you got to win. You beat Bama in Tuscaloosa. You played well against teams like Texas Tech down the stretch. A team that another playoff contender in Oregon struggled with. So you definitely have some shots here. But at the end of the day, it comes down to these two teams that have dynamic offenses and subpar defenses. I would argue that Texas is probably not exactly subpar. I think that they're above. I think that they're maybe like a little bit between above average and average. But Washington defense has gotten better at certain points this season, but has also struggled. Both teams have had struggle games, namely for Texas, you have that Oklahoma game where you had some big struggles in it. You also had some struggles against other teams throughout the year, but at the end of the day, you only have that one loss to Oklahoma. Washington, on the other hand, had a lot more struggle games, but did not have one in the L column. A game against a team like Stanford, for example, or Washington State, or even USC. USC obviously finished with a 7-5 record, but obviously still a very capable team. So there's no doubt that like playing competitive with them does not really like hurt you. I think that it's a good game, good matchup. You should be fine in playing competitive with a USC team like that. But when you're looking at this matchup, I think one of the most important parts of this matchup, particularly, is Quinn Ewers versus Michael Penix. I think it's really plain and obvious. I think when you're watching this game, you can't go anywhere else and say that this game isn't almost completely reliant on the fact that Quinn Ewers and Michael Penix, simply put, are, I think, going to decide this game. I think that at the end of the day, when you're looking back at this game, when you're looking at who could have won this game, were there any moments that could have been changed? I think that at the end of the day, when you're watching this game, you're going to be looking at the quarterback play being the difference. So let's get into this game. Let's do 3 keys to victory for each team, and then get into my prediction. So first of all, we'll start off with the higher ranked team, and that is the undefeated Washington Huskies. When you're looking at this Huskies team, first reason for victory, our first pathway towards victory, is win the turnover battle. And a little bit of a spoiler alert, this is my first thing for both teams. I think you got to play pretty much a stake-free football with two highly talented offensive teams like I've mentioned before. I think you kind of got to play protective football when it comes down to it. I think you can't make mistakes. You got to win the turnover battle. I think it's, I would say you don't have to win it, but it has to be even for both of these teams. If you lose the turnover battle, especially if it's like 3-1 or 4-2 or something like that, where it's 2 turnover difference, that's going to be really kind of difficult. So you got to win the turnover battle. That's key number 1. And spoiler, it is for Texas as well. Key number 2, you got to give Michael Penix time in the pocket to pass. Got to keep him a clear pocket. I don't think that Washington, like, it's not that you've had that big issue with that before in the season, that you have a bunch of issues, particularly. But Texas has a solid defense. You played well against Oregon. And I think that is definitely going to be something that is important, but you got to protect Michael Penix. Key number 3, don't get off to a slow start. I have been noticing watching some of the Washington games, they tend to get off to these slower starts sometimes. The slow start against Oregon. Not a slow start against Oregon. Slow start against Washington State. Oregon was the one that had the slow start. Apologize. But when looking at this, you have definitely a lot of contributing factors, but Washington State and Stanford, you have these games in which you kind of have slow starts. But I definitely think if you're going to have a shot at winning this, you're going to have some sort of big push at the beginning. You got to hit them off. And that's key number 3 for the Washington Huskies. And like I said, he is... like I said, for Texas, key number 1 by far and away is you got to win the turnover battle. Can't have issues there. But key number 2, you got to be able to slow this Washington team down. And what I mean by that is not give up any big pass plays, big run plays, but particularly big pass plays. You gotta stop it over top. You can't be allowing these massive dynamic passes. You can't let Romeo Odones. I'm terrible at saying names. I apologize. I'm terrible at it. But Romeo Odones, to be able to get over top of you, or Jalen McMillan, or whoever, you just can't allow these guys to get over top of the defense. You got to be able to play a lot of cover 2, a lot of making sure that you have your safeties backing up your cornerbacks, not letting anything get behind you. You got to make them dink and dunk down the field. Number 3, for Texas, I think it's kind of controlling the line of scrimmage. I think you have the advantage in this category. I think you should be able to control the line of scrimmage, and I think you should be able to play good ball when it comes down to the line of scrimmage. But if you're going to win this game, it simply comes down to this. You got to control the line of scrimmage if you're Texas. I think that when you're looking at these teams, I think Texas's identity has a little bit more to do with running the ball, a little bit more to do with being able to get those victories in the trenches and stuff like that. So I think that you definitely should be able to have an advantage there against Washington, in my opinion. So I think that you should be able to get there. So now on to the prediction portion of this video. And when I'm looking at these two teams, when I'm looking at the two dynamics here, I think that it's a tough call. It's a tough call. Both of these games are extremely tough games. I think Michigan, Alabama, that video will be coming out tomorrow. But I think that you're looking at two dynamic teams when it comes on the offensive end. But I think at the end of the day, when you're watching these two teams play, I think Texas has the upper hand in this game. I think Texas, when you're watching this, I think home field advantage-wise will be in Texas's favor, just because I think Texas will draw more of a crowd, will be able to build a little bit more of a home field advantage, because I think you're probably looking at, I think, 65-35 Texas fans, just because I think Texas travels a little bit better. And I'm sorry if you're a Washington State fan, but I just think that Texas will travel better with this being the first time that they've kind of been relevant in a very long time. And I'm not including Sam Ehlinger's one stint as Texas is back, baby. No, I'm not including that. So, because, I think, you won the Sugar Bowl. I think it was the Sugar Bowl. May have been, I think it was the Sugar Bowl. May have been the Cotton Bowl that Sam Ehlinger won. But disregard that point. I think Texas wins this game. I think Quinn Ewers makes one less mistake. I think Michael Penix, I just think he could throw an interception or stuff like that. And I think Texas has the ability to rebound from their mistakes a little bit better. A little bit better defense, I think, is what's going to come down to. And I think in all three phases of the game is what's going to determine this victory for Texas, is being able to play all three phases extremely well. And don't get me wrong, Washington is a great team overall. But at the end of the day, I do think that it will be a Texas W. And I do think, I hate to say it, I really do, but hook 'em horns, they're back, baby. I think that they get a big victory here. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Hit 2 videos down below and hit the subscribe button up here. And as always, have a great day. Bye, guys.